SMT Nation, we back nation. Wow, this is a pretty huge story. When analysts discuss speculative arrangements, right? Speculation, I treat it as, just take it with a grain of salt. It's fun. It makes you think, it get the wheels turning, things like that. But quite often, because most of the thought process behind it is shrouded in logic and reasoning, it really does put the likelihood or the possibility of these things kind of like at least 50-50. All right, now we've already discussed what could happen with US Cellular, right? We got rumors of potential buyout from another company. Again, speculation, but there's no speculation that they are going with their wireless customers' assets. They're looking at options, and that part of that is selling it. So the company TDS looking to move on from US Cellular potentially. Who's going to buy them, right? That's huge because we know that those assets are big. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, Dish. Who's got capital? Who's got the reason to do it? Okay, so this article covers all those things. Now that we're up to speed there, let's go ahead and get through the items in this video. All right. I'll go ahead and link it for you guys. It'll be in the description. Also in the description, the Real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link. Support your creators directly. Use our partner link, use the Real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link, and you can buy us some caffeine. Keep the SMT caffeinated, motivated, and there's other ways to support us too. They're all in the description. And don't forget, looking for a great deal on wireless service, you can get it from our partner, Mint Mobile. You guys know the Fox, you know the deals, they're the best. All right, mintmobile.com/Sneed. Link in the description for these incredible value deals. You guys can see that the deflation promo pricing is still active, so take advantage of that. And it's really easy to switch. They can mail you a SIM really quickly, or they can do eSIM. Guys, it's a great option. Check them out. All right, so who's going to buy US Cellular? Well, according to Mike Dano of lightreading.com, he's got the scoop. Now, there's one particular aspect that we analyzed last week on the podcast and on my dedicated video. We looked at the spectrum assets, 600 megahertz, AWS, CBRS, 3.45 C-band, the 3.7, and then some millimeter wave in the 28 gigahertz range. 4,300 cell towers, 4.5 million customers, or somewhere in that neighborhood. I mean, there's reason to maybe be, motivated to buy this company and their assets. Now, the assets with respect to the spectrum and the tower is more valuable than the customers, actually, right? Because if, US Cellular was to go out of business, those customers would become, they'd become free agents, and then you could fight for them that way. But, 21 states in which they have native coverage, all those spectrum licenses, it makes sense for all carriers to be looking at this. Now, the least likely scenario, in my opinion, is going to be the company that has the least amount of alignment with respect to the assets. 600 megahertz, we're talking about Dish and T-Mobile. AWS, every carrier has it, right? CBRS, you got Dish and Verizon. T-Mobile has some too, I believe, but, it's just not a big piece of what they do. The DoD is AT&T, Dish, and T-Mobile, and then the C-band is T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, no Dish. And then 28 gigahertz, that's a millimeter wave band that we see Verizon deploy quite a bit. I don't know if AT&T and T-Mobile do much with this frequency, but they can, when you purchase all these assets, you can always move on from stuff. You could sell it, you could just deploy radios for it when you get to these tower sites. But in my estimation, the 600 megahertz, the low band, and the AWS, I think those are the big two, right? And then I'm going to go out on a limb and say the 3.457 and the C-band is just slightly behind it, right? Those are all really valuable spectrum assets. So who makes the most sense? Who is the one this makes the most sense for? And it's T-Mobile, folks. With respect to those frequencies, it is T-Mobile, and they're running a dual-purpose network. They're doing mobile network operations, and they are a fast-growing carrier, adding customers all the time. They also run 5G home internet, fixed wireless access. It really makes the most sense for them to get it. There is a problem here, folks. The one thing that I believe is going to be the most problematic thing for T-Mobile to get US Cellular is going to be regulations. I want to remind everyone, this company has been a part of probably like 5 mergers in the last decade. Some successful, some have not been. And I think based on the successfulness of those mergers and the ability of T-Mobile to kind of pull out ahead in 5G, regulators may be looking at this like, do we really want T-Mobile getting another company with millions of customers and lots of bandwidth, right? Do we really want to see it happen like this? Now, I will tell you, the bigger obstacle is going to be T-Mobile's cash, right? And the ability to get loans, right? I don't know how long they're going to be paying off that loan from the Sprint merger. That was like $20-30 billion, right? So I don't know how that's going to play out. But with respect to the regulators, it's not like they like Verizon or AT&T any better. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the major operators, you know, it seems to make the most sense for T-Mobile, but those factors are a big piece of this. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think maybe cable is better suited for this? Do you really want cable being all up in there in wireless? I don't know. And I don't know if it's Comcast or Charter who has the most overlap with respect to US Cellular. I don't know. But I will tell you that if T-Mobile was to get these assets, it would be huge for them because we've been able to identify, at least objectively here on this channel, we do this. I don't know what the Thong subreddit does. I don't really give a damn. But when it comes to our analysis and our objectivity, we know that there are holes in T-Mobile's 5G game. We know that, you know, that there are N41 deficiencies where there's fragmentation and they simply don't have the licenses to properly do fixed wireless access and or support their mobile network access growth. They could use this, no doubt. And I'm sure any carrier, AT&T could really flourish with this, and so could Verizon. They all would thrive, but it seems to make the most sense. I just don't know how regulators would feel about giving T-Mobile another acquisition, another merger, and then, because this would be an acquisition, it wouldn't be a merger. You know, and let's be honest here. They didn't play nicely during the whole merger promises thing. We didn't see the same protections of the jobs. We saw, you know, like 15, 16, 17,000 net lost in jobs. So they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. They still haven't hit the mark in California for the broadband speeds, you know, and you know, they raised pricing without raising pricing, right? Really sneaky, did it with fees and all these other little side things. I mean, if any regulator was watching any of that, they'd think twice. And I don't care. You know, the thongs from the T-Mobile subreddit want to get mad about this. I don't care. We're here to be objective. We call a spade a spade. You don't like it, then change the station. That's what we do here, right? We take the magenta shades off. We call a spade a spade. I, for one, don't mind. I don't care what the outcome is, as long as it's good for consumers. All right, so tell me what you guys think. Sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.